and we're almost done our document review series. In this video, we're going to be covering the contract for posting without representation. So at Revre, we are able to help you list a home and provide you with services that you need, fully a la carte and fully dependent on what you as a seller need. Some people are more comfortable with selling a home. Some people are less comfortable with selling a home. And we have services that we can provide to people of every single comfort level. Some people may choose to simply list their home on the MLS and get a sign up on the property, etc. And that is what we do here. We charge a very low nominal fee for doing these services and allow you to simply have an MLS listing and get exposure to the thousands of people that are looking for homes on any given day. So this is what this document is for. People that are not getting the full agent relationship with us, but are going that route. Quite simply, I'll run through this document very quickly, but it's a much shorter document than the exclusive seller representation, but with some similar information. At the top, we have room for the seller's information, the names, the address, contact information, and we have room for the brokerage information, which in this case is Revre. So what we're acknowledging here is that there's a non-representation agreement. Essentially, that means that the agent is going to be posting this listing, but they're not going to be doing any kind of legwork for the person that is selling their home. So first of all, we need you to have read the Consumer Relationships Guide that we touched on in a previous video. I will link to it in the description of this video. You're foregoing agency relationship essentially, and there's not going to be fiduciary duties owed to somebody that is just simply listing their home. They're going about it by themselves essentially. We exercise reasonable care and skill in providing services to the seller, of course. There's non-negligently or knowingly providing the seller with false or misleading information and complying with provisions of the Real Estate Act and its regulations, of course. The seller acknowledges that the brokerage may be representing buyers who may wish to make an offer on the seller's property, and that the brokerage is actually obligated to act in the best interest of the buyer, not to the seller in this case, because the seller is not doing a full representation with us. So the broker's obligations is listed here. We're going to post the property located at the municipal address. So that is going to be your street address for sale on the board's MLS for a price of blank. This is where you put in the price that you want us to list the home for on the MLS. And we'll verify the accuracy of data related to the property and maintain, and if necessary, amend the information. So if you want price changes, if you want changes made to the description, etc., we can definitely do that for you. We also report the date of sale, the selling price, and the date of transfer to the MLS system when the property is sold. In this section, we are also going to amend the services that we're going to provide you with. So if you are having a MLS listing, that's already in here, of course, but if you are wanting additional services above and beyond that, we include them here and just make sure that everything is in writing as to what services you are getting from us. The next section is the description of the property. So we talk about the plan, the lot, and the block number. All of these are going to be on your title or tax assessment and quite easy for you to find. If it's a condo, we have our condominium plan, unit, and unit factor, which we had spoke about in the condominium property schedule. And then we also include title, parking, and storage space as well, and any other descriptions that are necessary. The property includes, so this is going to be where you put your goods that are not attached to the property but will be included in the sale of the property. These will be obviously, most regularly a refrigerator, stove, microwave, dishwasher, washer, dryer, etc. And then in B, you're also going to include the goods that are not going to be attached when the property is sold. So if you're taking anything with you, just make sure that it is included in this section. And if there's assigned stalls or storage spaces for a condominium specifically, this is where you would put this information. So if it's titled, it's going to go up here. If it's an assigned stall or space, it's going to go down here. The term of the contract will essentially state when we are going to list the property and then when it's going to expire. This must be a minimum of 60 days, so anything above 60 days is perfect. Next section is just for remuneration. I always have a problem with that word. Section A is just upon the signing of the contract, there will be a fee plus GST. So whatever services we're providing you will be outlined above, and then we will include them here. Further remuneration will be as follows, and it will be in this blank. Generally, we leave this one blank. Generally, this is the one that we talk about when we're listing for you. The seller instructs the brokerage to post on the board's MLS system, and the seller will enter into a fee agreement with a buyer's brokerage when an offer is offer to purchase is presented to the seller by the buyer's brokerage or representative. You can either hit yes or no here. That essentially means that you will be offering you won't be offering, but you will be agreeing to enter into a fee agreement with a buyer's agent. So this could be commission that they're asking for, a fee they're asking for, etc. You can definitely hit no here, and you can also do yes, you're willing to agree to it. Totally up to you. We will talk in more detail when we are presenting you these documents as to what is suitable for yourself. We talk about the seller's responsibilities. The seller will provide the brokerage with all information necessary for posting the property, obtain verification of mortgage, property tax, improvement charges, tenancy information, etc. Communicate and cooperate with the brokerage in a timely manner. Immediately advise the brokerage of any change in status of the property or the information that's provided. Report the sale of the property as we have to on the MLS system, and provide any documentation necessary to facilitate or complete the sale. Material latent defects. This is important. So as we had spoke about in the exclusive seller representation, material latent defects are very important and they need to be disclosed to anybody that's coming in. They're required by common law to disclose. These are defects that are not hidden, not visible, or discoverable upon a reasonable inspection. So sometimes like a foundational crack or flooding that hadn't been remediated properly, one of a dozen different things. And that could render the property dangerous or potentially dangerous to the occupants or unfit for habitation. Sellers may also be required to disclose government and local authority notices, lack of development permits, and hidden defects that would involve great expense to remedy. So we have to make sure that you include all of these because it protects you in the event that a person comes in to purchase the property and one of these defects is found. It protects you legally because you have disclosed it. Dower rights. So this is if, for example, a married couple has lived on the property, however, there's only one person on title. Essentially, what you will have to do is there will be a dower consent document that we send to you that states essentially that both parties are agreeing to dispose of the property and that both people are knowingly disposing of the property. So this is the situation in which only one person is on title. However, the couple is married. If both people are in title, then this is irrelevant. If the property is vacant, we're at a previous rental, or you have moved out, or one of many different reasons, we will have to provide a hold harmless to the real estate board, just stating that you are going to indemnify the brokerage for any claims that may arise from reasonable and good faith reliance on representations made or information provided by the seller. So in the case that it were a vacant property, we also have a hold harmless document that states that you are totally okay with the address being posted on the public MLS, and that people will be able to see this address even though the property is vacant. Section 8 is just about ending the contract. And then in 9, we talk about seller information. Obviously, there's going to be a collection of information and disclosed on the MLS for publishing statistics and conducting comparative market analyses. Your information is not going to be sold to anybody or anything like that. Section 10 is just for signatures. We date it, we sign it, and us as the broker or agent sign here, and then initial, date it, and that is the whole document. So it's a much more straightforward document when you are listing for yourself, because there's less disclosures that need to be made on our part. If you do have any questions about this document, do not hesitate to email us at info@revre.ca, and we will get back to you as soon as possible on this. Thank you very much for watching the document review series. We very much appreciate it because it allows us to provide people with the information on all of these documents, and allows us to essentially start a conversation as to what we need when we are selling your property or helping you sell your property. Again, thank you very much for watching this, and we will have one more video, and that is in regards to what we need when we are listing a home. So thank you again, and take care.